What did you see when you went to the data centers?
So we decided we would try to go look at the data center. We couldn't get very close. So we drove up and asked the security guard if we could just drive around and look at it, since we were talking about getting one in our area. He said he'd have to call his supervisor. The next thing we knew, 5 lit up vehicles come roaring down the road. A truck blocked us in from behind, and the head of security got out, wanted to know what we were doing there and why we wanted to see the data center. They took a picture of the car, our license plate, the car, and asked, but said we didn't have to give them our driver's license. We told them all we wanted to do was just look at it because we couldn't see it very well from the road. He told us to leave and never come back. And the security guard that we were working with said, well, can I open the gate to let them drive and turn around? And the head of security said, absolutely not. They pulled the car out from behind us, or truck, and we had to back out. And as I said, he said that was our first impression of the data center.
Today, Mr. Brewer and I drove down to DeKalb, and we went to a Meta data center, and we drove all around the property. Bill couldn't even get out of the car. He was going to ask the question, and they ordered him back in the car. We could not step foot on the property, which I understand, but we wanted to see what this looked like. So we went around, stopped at the guard shack, talked to them, stood right 100 yards from the building, and I could not hear a sound. The one sound they hear is when the diesel generators start once a month that they use for emergency backup. That's why Bill and I went down there.
There are no houses around these data centers. We did find 2 houses about a half a mile, what we thought were houses. One of them ended up being a house. The first one actually ended up being a whiskey distillery. So we stopped and asked the person at the distillery if we could talk to them about the data center. And we asked him what he thought of them. He said, I don't like them, but you can talk to my boss. So we went and waited, and his boss came out, the one that owned the distillery, and he said, sure, I would be more than happy to talk to you. And he was a very, very friendly guy. And he said when they first came to town, he was very much against it. So he went and looked at a data center in Iowa, and I don't remember which one, had the same experience. He went on the property and was kicked off by the security people. He said also it's very noisy during construction, very noisy, very dusty. He said the ground shook every day, and he didn't live there. He lived closer to DeKalb. And he said, my house shook every day for 5 years. So those are issues. We didn't hear any noise. The data center, I believe, is a quarter up and running right now. It's smaller than ours. I think it's 250, don't quote me on numbers because I'm not good on this, 250 megawatts, where ours would be 1,000 to 1,100 megawatts of electricity.
As we drove around, there was a farmer getting out of his combine. So we went back, and he got out and talked to us, and we asked him, what's it like being by this data center? How loud is it? And his answer was, I farm right up against their fence, and I don't hear a sound.
When we went to DeKalb, we saw a huge industrial park, and we found the data center at the end of the industrial park. So on 3 sides of the data center, it was surrounded by the industrial park. The back side was cornfield. But as I said, we didn't really hear any noise, but they were only quarter operational at this time.